Stacking, I'ma build a skyscraper rise. Digits flipping on the screen, Wall Street in disguise. Freedom in my pocket, dividends on the climb. Portfolio popping, every dollar multiplies. Buy low, sell high, that's the battle cry. Green arrows pointing up, touching the sky. Money moves, cash grooves, we invest in. Freedom tunes, no change, just progression. Money moves, yeah, we keep it flexing. Freedom's the vibe, we ain't second guessing. Charts looking spicy, candlesticks be lit. Crypto on a rocket, but I'm hedging with wit. Options on the table, risk like roulette spins. Freedom ain't a gamble, it's a mindset win. Buy low, sell high, that's the battle cry. Green arrows pointing up, touching the sky. Money moves, cash grooves, we invest in. Freedom tunes, no change, just progression. Money moves, yeah, we keep it flexing. Freedom's the vibe, we ain't second guessing. Second guessing.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge of financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. One of those is going to be about some warning signs that we're starting to see from auto industry loans. I've also got a few other headlines, but we'll get to those in just a second. You know what we got pulled up first. It's that stock heat map, and we're going to get you prepped for some success today. Let's see. K Diggity saying AIXBT trying to take off. Well, I will get that one added to our list this morning, and we will take a look at it. Maybe we can take a trade on it as well. AIXBT. And let's dive into this stock heat map real quick. We're seeing a little bit of green this morning. We've got Apple closed 0.5% to the upside, up 0.27% this morning. We've got Nvidia up 0.39 off of its close, looking to the upside 0.73 this morning. We've got Berkshire Hathaway up 0.25% off of its close, looking quite neutral this morning, down 0.01. We've got Amazon sitting down 1.4%, looking towards the upside this morning, up 0.35. Eli Lilly sitting extremely green this morning, up 2.34%, and looking quite neutral, down now. It was up 0.02. It's now down 0.02. So bouncing back and forth in that neutral range. ExxonMobil sitting down 0.6 and continuing with a little bit of sell-off this morning, down 0.11. Tesla also looking quite green, 3.5% towards the upside on that close, up 0.32 this morning. We've got P&G up 0.69, looking quite neutral this morning, up 0.08. We've got Microsoft down 0.04, quite neutral this morning as well, down 0.03. We've got Google sitting up 3.7, looking towards the downside this morning, 0.42. And we've got Meta looking towards the downside off of its close, down 1.05. Looking towards the upside this morning, though, up 0.64. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things. Looking pretty green over here. We're seeing some nice big green bubbles as well. Ethereum up 9.9%. We've got XRP up 10.5%. Doge up 7.5% right now. Bitcoin looking quite neutral on that daily. Starting to see a little bit of green on the hourly. We've got Ethereum, like I said, up 9.9%. XRP up 10.5%. BNB up 3.5%. We've got Solana up 6.1%, Dogecoin up 7.5%, we've got Tron sitting up 3.7%, we've got Cardano up 8.6%. Might also have to take a look at that chart. Let me get that one added to the list. We've got Hyperliquid down 2.6%. We've got SWI, we've got Stellar up 2.5%. We've got SWI down 0.2%. We've got Chainlink up 4.8%, HBAR up 4.7%. We've got Bitcoin Cash looking quite neutral, up 0.07%. Avalanche up 5%. Shiba Inu up 5.4%. We've got Leo token holding quite steady, up 0.1%. And TON sitting up 3.3%. Let's hop over to that fear and greed, because we're still sitting in that greed for the stock side of things. Not seeing a whole lot of change. We do get some green days, some red days, some green days, and overall we're just sticking at that 74 in greed, kind of waiting to see if we can push a little bit higher before we see a little more sell off. We do have the crypto side of things back up 4 points, sitting at 74 in greed after that nice big push towards the platinum pocket that we were looking at yesterday. We'll get to that one in just a second. We still have quite a bit of liquidity residing to the top side of us, going to be that $120,000 mark. And that's pretty much that platinum pocket we were talking about yesterday. We do have the 3-day looking quite similar with that liquidity stacked up at $120,000. Fartcoin and Floki up 30 and 23%. Jesus. Yeah, I did see Fartcoin was starting to rip last night. It was up 10%. So I guess it must have continued quite heavily towards the upside. Let's see. Fartcoin is making a stink for sure, says K Diggity. Yeah, it seems to do that. Toshi up 18%. Jesus. All these memes making their way back in the market. We do have a little bit of liquidity towards the downside on this 1 week, looking about that $112,000 level. We also have another little hot spot sitting at about that 115,100 area. We'll kind of take a look at those in just a second when we get that Bitcoin chart pulled up. We do have a little bit of data coming out this morning for the United States at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be getting those import-export. We also have initial jobless claims, looking like a big increase on that from 227,000 last time to 235,000 on the forecast. Definitely keeping our eyes on that one this morning. We will also be getting that Philadelphia Fed manufacturing index, looking like an increase there. Not too unexpected, as we did see a pause on some of those tariffs. We also have retail sales month over month and year over year, excluding auto and gas. That's another thing to keep your eye on that 8 a.m. time frame. The bigger one's going to be retail sales month over month in general, looking like an increase on that one as well. We do have business inventories month over month looking quite flat, and Fed Kugler is speaking at 10 a.m. Eastern Time as well. Scroll down just a little bit further. Take a look at that Asia trading time zone. We do have a Fed chair speaking at 6:30 Eastern, and we will be getting core inflation rate year over year and inflation rate year over year for Japan. I will definitely be keeping my eye on that, because that's going to be a biggie for tonight's trading time zone. Let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to the people in the chat. I did see a few new names in here. We got Jesus Barak. Yeah, Jesus Barak. Good morning from Colombia. Well, good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. We've got Donato Cabrera in here. We've got Kyle Field saying Bitcoin dominance under 63%. We might have to take a look at that one as well. Let's see. We got Jesse Gluck in here. We've got Bad Doggy in here. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Y'all were enjoying the music before the show. Said open club. So we might have to get a little new emoji once we can get some new members. We'll take a look at that and see if we can eventually get that new emoji in there. Let's take a look at this Bitcoin chart, because we're seeing quite a bit of some bouncing action at a level we had talked about. Pulling this up on that 4 hour, because that daily looking quite similar to everything that we've been talking about. Mrs. Wick has a disco ball, like in real life, because that would be cool. Does she, or is that an emoji there? Let's see. We got this 4 hour moving quite sideways here. Let me get it moved over a little bit more so you can see it. There we go. Moving quite sideways, as we're starting to see Bitcoin price action really move quite sideways. We did talk about seeing our platinum pocket on our fib extensions coming in as the top side, looking for a new sideways range here, trying to grab a little bit of liquidity above that range, and then trying to see if we can grab some of the liquidity that would be down here at the bottoms. We do have that nice clean bounce off of that 118 about 200 area that we had talked about the day before, looking like we could potentially see that continue back up towards our platinum pocket here. Try to grab that liquidity that's sitting in that area as we're starting to see this 4 hour get a little bit of sideways momentum here. You do have your money flow in the green, but your volume, did not mean to do that. Your volume is sitting extremely low here. You can kind of see it is slowed down quite a bit. money flow back in the green, but your prime oscillator is sitting quite red here. So we're kind of waiting to see if we come in with some resistance all over again at $120,000, or if we get that nice strong move above it, kind of turn that platinum pocket into some support here. We do have that MACD running quite sideways as well. We're sitting below our indicator line, but we're printing some very small red candles here on the histogram. So we're just kind of waiting to see if we can get that nice strong money flow coming in. Do you have permission to use that? Jesse says, K Diggity. I think anyone can use it. There we go. I did not know that there was a disco ball emoji in there. So might just have to use that before we really start the show there. We got this 1 hour looking quite similar as well, getting that nice sideways momentum here as we're sitting above an area that we were talking about from yesterday, that $118,000 mark. You've got that MACD running quite sideways. You've got your prime oscillator getting a little sideways momentum here too, down on the bottom side as your volume's starting to come back in, but you're not seeing that money flow really coming back in just yet. We're still in some selling pressure. Your true 7 hasn't clipped out just yet, so could potentially see that resistance coming back in and cool off that daily time oscillator. We did talk about that at the beginning of the week. Still something I'm going to keep my eye on because we do have this clean area of resistance with a little bit of liquidity right in that area. We still have this giant fair value gap as well that is left open. We got that nice strong bounce off of the top side straight back towards the platinum pocket there. So definitely going to be watching these two areas, see if we can get above here, turn it into some support. If not, we're looking all the way back down here towards that $116,000 mark to kind of see if we can get some bouncing action on the top side of our fair value gap again, and if not, looking to kind of close that. We'll keep hounding on that fair value gap because it's also a CME gap, and I'm waiting for a little bit of price action in that range. Might be doing some buying there. Let's take a look at the 15-minute, see what the morning might be bringing our way here. Morning doing quite a bit of some bouncing action off of this $118,000 area. A little bit below it, came in about 118 on the dot for the bottom side here. We saw 3 bounces off of that level, grabbing some liquidity that was below the lows from here and then pushing back towards the upside, really seeing that resistance come back in at 119.200 where we saw our resistance before we dropped back down to 118 there. We're kind of waiting to see if we can get some continued money flow in here because your money flow and volume are extremely low here on the 15-minute. You got that nice strong push coming on in as we got above 118,000, and then since then it has been a very, very slow decline of money flow coming back into the market. So we'll kind of have to keep our eye on that as we also have that low volume as well. Kind of waiting to see if we can get some of that volume and money flow coming back in here as we get up to that 120,000 and see if that's going to be some resistance or if that's going to be our next support area. All right, let's take a look at some of these news articles because we did have a few of those pulled up. We've got this first one here. They're skipping car payments. That's the final warning. And the headlines say inflation is easing and job numbers remain strong, but consumers are skipping car payments. The Fed claims to be data-driven, but if you're watching behavior, not just backward-looking numbers, the signals are flashing red. Last month, I highlighted how mortgage delinquencies are rising fast, and that piece resonated because it cut through the noise. By the time the official data confirms it, you're already late. Smart investors look where others aren't looking. Now we're seeing it again, this time in auto loans. Delinquencies, especially among subprime borrowers, are spiking. This matters. People will skip everything else before they lose their car. That's how they get to work. If they're missing payments now, the strain is already severe. The Fed says it's data driven, but when consumers start skipping car payments, it's no rounding error. It's a flashing alarm. LendingTree reports 5.1% of Americans are now delinquent on auto loans, with 2% at least 30 days late and nearly 1% over 90 days late. That's not a trend, it's a red flag. We'll kind of have to keep our eye on this one because kind of been talking about things like this happening here on the Piper Academy, not just me, but Piper as well. I know we've touched on those mortgage rates quite heavily. People are more likely to kind of lose their home if they can find a rental, but those cars are a little bit more of an issue, especially since you kind of need a car here in America if you want to get around. K Diggity saying, I'm not bragging. I drive an old car and I'm not rich. But the best thing you can do for yourself is get rid of your stupid car loan. I kind of agree on that sentiment. I played the car loan game one time. Not a big fan. Until I get to like a 7-figure account, I'm not gonna buy a brand new car. So that's kind of been my thing. I buy somewhere in that sweet spot of like 15-year-old cars, and I just keep fixing them. It's pretty cheap to do so and to keep them running, and I don't have a car payment, so it's kind of nice to, if something happens, be able to drop $400 and fix my car instead of worrying. It's like, oh no, well, I got this repair on a car and then I also have to pay my car payment. It's a whole mess. So I like my slightly older cars. They're not flashy, but they're very cheap to fix if you buy the right car, like a Honda Accord or like a Chevy Impala. Like, you can get parts for those for extremely cheap, and they're also really, really easy to work on, so I don't pay for labor. I just do that myself. So I did have this other article I have pulled up. I thought it was quite interesting. We've seen a lot of news going on about Starlink. Starlink has done quite a bit, offering internet to places that haven't had internet, holding Ukraine, keeping Ukraine with internet access when they were having troubles during the beginning of their conflict. Now Amazon wants to step into the ring. Amazon plans to offer satellite internet services late in 2025. Amazon is planning to offer internet services to areas with poor coverage globally by the end of the year, a move that could bring billions of billions in new revenue just from the consumer market alone, according to analysts. Amazon Project Kuppler launched a low Earth orbit satellite into space for the first time in April and June, with the goal of serving consumers, businesses, and governments that have trouble getting coverage. About 2.6 billion people do not have fast broadband internet access, and assuming Amazon grabs a 30% share of the consumer market, the company would generate $7.1 billion by 2032, according to BofA Global Research Analysts in a July report shared with Payments. Coupier is a big investment initiative for Amazon and has endured despite ongoing cost cutting, said BofA analyst Justin Post in the report. I will definitely be following up with this one quite heavily. Might be doing a little heavier buying into Amazon, especially since you can actually buy Amazon stock and you cannot buy Starlink stock. You just have to buy Tesla, and that gets their well-rounded pump of all of Elon Musk's businesses. So might have to do some buying on Amazon here soon. They will be offering ultra compact satellite antennas that manage speeds of 100 megabytes per second. The standard antennas will be reaching up to 400, and the largest models with speeds of a gig. So definitely going to be keeping my eye on that one going forward. We did have a This other news article I was taking a look at, no surprise here on this one. You know, I have talked to several buddies about it that work in more of that base pay industry, with minimum wage being a big thing that they talk about over and over. Uh, and a new economic study finds California $20 an hour fast food minimum wage cause 18,000 job loss. I'm not going to dive too far into that, but if you had any sense, you kind of knew that was coming. We do talk about if you have to pay higher wages, you're going to have to increase the prices of your goods, or you're going to keep those goods the same price, and you're just going to cut jobs, and you're going to do a little more with a little less. And that's kind of what we saw in California with those $20 an hour wages for fast food workers. Let's hop over to those charts, see what we're looking at with some of those asset requests. I know I did have a few more that were talked about. We had ADA, AIXBT. Let's scroll it on up, see what we got. XLM, we can definitely take a look at that one as well. Our trade did not play out too well on that one. It kind of just moved sideways. So XLM was holding up quite nicely as Bitcoin was getting that dip. Probably should have shorted Bitcoin instead. That was definitely the move there. Let's see. We got Darren Does Things in here. He says, I'm running late. Just got out of a meeting. About 5 minutes behind. Well, enjoy that 2x speed there, DDT. We will see you on the other end. We got JR. Do you like more? Do you do a little more with a little less? Story of my life. Yep. That's kind of a life motto, you know. You do a little more with a little less, and you kind of get a little more on the back end. So let's take a look. Oh, we have XLM already pulled up there. We had it bouncing on a level we did not want to see. That was kind of that exit of that. We were hoping for a little bit lower of a dip down to that 40-cent range as Bitcoin got that strong move back down towards the top side of that fair value gap. As you can kind of see here, XLM held up that 382 extremely nicely, and then it got that strong move back above 46 cents, and it's kind of confirming that as some support here. You have a little bit of some toppiness here on the 1 hour. You're getting that nice strong sideways momentum on our MACD, barely above our zero line, starting to get that sideways momentum on your indicator line as well. You've got your volume extremely low here, seeing some sideways momentum here on your prime oscillator as well, but kind of waiting to see if we can get some money flow in here to hold the price up at that 46.5 cent point. We do have your 4 hour looking quite nice for a continued pump as well. I know I did that a little bit backwards, but the 1 hour was pulled up first, so I didn't change it. We do have this MACD and prime oscillator heading back towards the upside here. Cooled off quite nicely on that 4 hour. Your volume is quite low here, so really waiting to see if we can get some strong switch of money flow. Your money flow has been in the red for a little while on those shorter term time frames, but you're holding up quite nicely here on this 382. Waiting to see if you can get back up towards our resistance at that 51-cent point. That might be the area to take a little stab at a short if you see that money flow or volume starting to slow up on that area. We do have the 15-minute and the morning looking like you're starting to see a little bit of some rollover here as well, but like I said, you have that very strong support at 56.5 cents, where we've continued to see all of that bouncing action off of. You've got your MACD getting a little bit of some rollover, your prime oscillator also getting some rollover as well, but your volume coming back in for the morning. So we'll kind of have to keep our eye on some XLM, maybe set an alert back up here at that 49.5 cents, and then see if we can catch a short at that point. Let me get XLM taken off the list. We had Pengu. Oh boy. Pang you. Let's get that one back on the list because I heard that one was ripping from before. We'll kind of have to see if that analysis we did on it did anything. I like BC's analysis on it too. Yeah, we will definitely take a look at that one. I think we looked at that the other day for Jesse. Let's see, that's why I'm playing the game of long and strong. Well, sometimes when you get a little bit toppy, throwing a short at the market is not a bad move. This time on that asset, it did not play out. Whereas if we had shorted Bitcoin back where we were talking the other day, when we were talking about the platinum pocket being lost, we would have had this nice strong move all the way from 120,000 back down here to about 115, and that would have been a nice almost 4% move there. And I was kind of hoping for something correlating in XLM, but XLM and H bar, two of those assets that y'all had asked me to take a look at on Monday and do a trade on, held up extremely nicely. So I was quite surprised by both of those. We've got ADA, and then we can take a look at AIXPT, and then we'll take a look at Pengu. All right, we got ADA pulled up here. ADA making its way to that 80-cent range that we had talked about after turning that 76 range into some support there. We did get those nice strong bounces off of 76 cents. Let's get that move to the 4-hour there. We get those nice strong bounces off of 76 cents, 76 cents again. Then we did a little bit of some up down action, grabbed the top side liquidity, and then came back down to grab some bottom side liquidity before we got that strong push above 80 cents. We do have this 50% line on our fibs coming in directly above us. That's going to be 82 about 3 there, and where we could potentially see a little bit of some resistance if you see that money flow slowing down just a bit. DDT saying he's all caught up. Well, welcome to the other side of things, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's get this zoomed on down to that 1-hour time frame, because that 4-hour does look like it is a little bit toppy, but you do have some bullish divergences that have stacked up. Kind of waiting to see if this low volume comes with some continued push towards the upside. 1-hour also looking a little bit toppy, but it doesn't say that it doesn't have more room to run, because that MACD still pointed towards the upside. You got your prime oscillator still pointed to the upside, and your volumes maintaining quite nicely here as well. If we can get that to continue to roll over into your 4-hour, into that daily, you could really see that nice strong push back up to 88 cents that we haven't been at in forever. Because you can kind of see that was all the way back here in March that we were above 88 cents. It has been a long time since ADA has been in those price points, and we're kind of waiting to see if we can get back up there now. I know I just take this level by level, so we'll kind of have to see if we see that resistance at that 50% line first, really get that stronger bounce on 80 cents, and then make our move from there. Let's get that 15-minute and the morning pulled up, because that is looking a little bit toppy too. All of this is a fair value gap between this range. If you came back down unable to hold 80 cents, you do have 78 cents being that nice little short-term time frame bounce area, kind of coming in with about the midline of that fair value gap as well that we would have saw on the 4-hour. I guess we can't say 4-hour just yet. We'll have to wait on this candle to close and the next one to really start. So a little bit later today, we can kind of see how big this fair value gap is going to be and see where we'd want to test on that. All of this looking like that 50% line is going to be a little bit of resistance for now. We'll kind of have to see if we can hold that 80 cent range for ADA, and if not, coming back down to test the middle of this area. kind of going to have to wait for a few more candles to print to really see where that fair value gap is coming in. But that 82 about 0.3-ish on the extra change on that is going to be that area I would potentially look for a little bit of resistance at before we come back down to 80 cents. Try to really confirm that as some strong support. You do have that nice bouncing action off of it, but seeing that come in on a shorter term time frame all over again to turn that into some support on a higher term time frame would be something I would keep my eye on. All right, that was ADA. All right, let's take a look at AIXBT. I don't know if that's on my list here in the favorites. How about extra? Is it all the way to... Nope, that's the other one. AI16Z. All right, let's get AIXBT pulled up. AIXBT. And we'll take a look at it on, I guess, Coinbase and see what we'd be looking at there. Let's get this zoomed on out to that daily time frame. See what we're seeing for the macro. We do have that nice strong sell-off in the beginning. Let's see on another one if it has more history. Binance there. Oh, I guess we had looked at it on the Binance network. So seeing us have that one line on our retracement as some resistance for now. We do have an area to potentially get above at 22 cents. Let me get a new fib kind of pulled up since we're kind of confirming the lows from back here, making some higher lows. So let's get a new fib pulled from high to low here, looking like that's going to be that 236. That's our strong resistance area there. We kind of have to see if we can get above that 22 cent point. That's going to be the highs from back here. Broke it just a little bit, but we're unable to really get above that 236, which was the platinum pocket on the one line on our retracement from before. Let me get that locked so we don't move it, and let's zoom this on and take a look at the 4 hour there. We do have some nice higher lows in this nice consolidated range here. Kind of waiting to see if we can get that nice strong bounce above it. Let me get not horizontals, but a little bit of a trend line pulled up here. We did break to the top side of our trend line. Maybe wait for that retest of the top side and then see if we can get back to that 22 cent point. Let me get this zoomed on in because that 4 hour does look like you could see a little bit of some continuation if you continue to see that volume hold steady and that money flow coming back in. Let's get that pulled up to that 1 hour there. I might see that nice strong bounce on the top side, which was resistance. Let me get that moved a little bit because it is not touching on the top side of those candles there. There we go. We've got that drawn a little bit better there. We did see a little bit of some action to the top side where we saw most likely a liquidity grab waiting to touch back down towards that resistance and then make that stronger push back up to 22 cents there. That'd be a nice strong move off this trend line of about 23%. So maybe more of a longer play over a couple ends. Let's see. JR says froze. BC, don't let the matrix shut you down. I'm watching myself right now. So I've got a little corner right here and my stream looks great. So I don't know if you just got that wonky Canadian internet there, sir, but I think it might just be you. We got Curtis Hill in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. Jesse says AIXBT on Base Network. So Jesse says his stream's also working great. So it's definitely just you and your Canadian internet there, sir. Hopefully you can get that all fixed and join us back on the live. We've got that 15-minute also looking quite toppy here. Waiting to see if we can get some continued money flow coming on in. Let's get this zoomed in a little bit better there. As you can see, this was our resistance. Got those nice, very higher lows, making a little bit of a higher high above our resistance, probably grabbing that liquidity before we dropped back down, created that next higher low, and then are trying to push back above our resistance line. So waiting to see if we can get that nice rollover on top, get that strong bounce off of, I'd be looking about 17 and a half to get that stronger bounce action, cool off that 15-minute, get that 1 hour kind of continued. See a little bit of some rollover, but not anything too crazy there, because that 4 hour still looked quite nice for some continuation. You have that reversal signal from back here, but that money flow, it just started coming in when you got that reversal signal. So could still see this run up a little bit higher, and I'd look at 22 cents for a little bit of some resistance. All right, that was AIXBT. Let's take a look at some Pengu. Darren does thing. JR slaps some AVWAPs on the daily pivot. Swing high and low on Pengu. Confluence around 20 cents if it comes down. Now I'm going to see what we're talking about there, because I don't keep up with Pengu, but we can definitely take a look at it. Let's see. I think we looked at it on Coinbase. Yep. I think that area 20 cents you were talking about down here, a little bit lower, that golden pocket. So that 0618 on our extensions is where you're looking there. DDT, I mean, you could potentially see that. I still have my eye on breaking into our fair value gap from here. Let me get that nice fair value gap box drawn out here. We did have the candle wick from here, and then our candle wick from, let me get that zoomed in, from right there. So this giant fair value gap here, where we have also that white line coming in. Might have to get that moved for a second. There we go. Let's get that deleted and then get this back there. So we have this nice big fair value gap that we would potentially look at filling first before we kind of make a decision. But if we do come back in here, fill this fair value gap, I would look at least bouncing off of that platinum pocket, coming in at about 22 cents. So waiting to see if we can at least maintain this 1618 range. You do have your 4 hour a little bit overheated here, but it is cooling down with this nice continued sideways momentum. So another thing to kind of watch here, it has been cooling those oscillators off with that sideways momentum instead of seeing that coming back down towards the bottom side. Canada trying to shut me down again. Well, maybe if you would stop being a degen, JR, they wouldn't be so after you. Just trade the Bitcoin and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Instead of talking about all these duty coins that you be bringing up all the time. I kid. Make your money how you make your money. But let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at that 1 hour. See what we're looking at for the morning. Jesse's like, hey, it wasn't me that he was after. But we've got this 1 hour looking like you could see some continued pump. I would really wait to see that come in with some money flow, though, because this money flow is kind of low and your volume is kind of low. So might just be looking for a little bit more resistance back up at the tops. 034, where you're seeing all of this wick in action kind of start, and then see if you can continue with the sideways momentum trend. We have been seeing a little bit of sideways momentum on Bitcoin. To see that on some of these alts and really cool down some of these oscillators would be that move to kind of watch for. You do have that MACD looking like it's ready to break towards the top side of our indicator line here, but that money flow is still in the red and that volume still in the red and extremely low. kind of indicates that you might not see that pump unless you can see that money flow starting to come back in on this shorter term time frame. Looks like you are seeing a little bit of some volume here on your shorter term time frame here on the 15-minute, but that money flow still in the red as you're getting that rollover of your MACD and your rollover of your prime oscillator here. So prime oscillator saw that reversal signal and switching from green to red as your volume's just starting to pick back up. So seeing a little bit more sideways momentum on this range would not be too unexpected. If we aren't able to really hold that 0.2739, I would look at kind of potentially closing that fair value gap, coming all the way back down towards that platinum pocket and 0.2237. So that's kind of what I'd look for on Pengu. You have this nice next extension above us. If you can kind of maintain this area, and that's at 2618, going to be 0.3970. So those are those kind of things to watch for. On the top side, almost that 4 cent mark would be that next upside target. I would wait for a little more cool off on those oscillators. 4 hour does need a little more cool off. 1 hour definitely needs some cool off, and this 15-minute kind of waiting to see if we can get some stronger pullbacks to our fair value gap. Really cool off those oscillators, because every time we get back up to about that 3.5 cent point, we start seeing those reversal signals flash, and money flow has kind of waned quite a bit here. Let's see, everyone enjoying my ragging on JR. It's all in love. We know, we know, and we see what you do in Discord. Speaking of which, if you're not a member of that Discord, let me drop that in the chat for you. I hope to see y'all over there, because we do quite a bit in the Discord. We have a lot of fun over there as well, and we've got classes that we do weekly, so you get a little more access and a lot more fun. Well, I can't ignore them sweet gains, bro. TP 50%. Yeah, I don't knock it. You know what you're doing over there on those degen coins. Me personally, I like BTC because I've built up some strategies over the past couple of years that work extremely well with Bitcoin, but then you throw it on an alt and then it doesn't really do much. So K Diggity, how long ago did I ask about AI XBT? I can't remember. I think that was like the very first time. I think that was back in like January or so. It might have been last year, Jesse. You've been watching that one for quite a while. But it is 5:28 and about time to wrap that show up. So I will see y'all at that morning motivational video here in just a second. You know, we got to start our day off right. After we get the data for the morning, we do have that morning market report here on the Piper Academy at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Great place to get that breakdown of your day's data. We also have Trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's another great place to learn how to trade, to learn how to take a look at a chart, or just have some fun with the Mexican Superman. We've also got Markets Off After Dark at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. With Lunar Beaches Crypto, he won't be here today though. That man is on vacation, so I hope he's having a great time. Other than that, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.
Pocket full of dreams, no loose change, flipping pennies to dollars. My range in